Hello friends, welcome to Shri Netralaya. This is a very challenging case as the anterior capsule is fibrosed. I entered with my 2.6 mm main incision and 23 gauge side port. Capsular staining is very important in such scenarios, so anterior capsule is stained with trypan blue to have a better visibility. Wait minimum of 30 seconds to have good visibility. Now the chamber is filled with viscoelastic, and what I noticed to my surprise is bag is on luxated to one side and the zonules are clearly visible. I was worried. Is this bag subluxated? No. It is the anterior capsular fibrosis which is pulling the bag to one side and causing a stress on zonules and making the equator visible. So, to check the stability of the bag, I entered with my cystitome. So, this is a difficult situation to have a fibrosed bag and too much stress on a zonules. If I carry out rhexis with cystitome, I may have a luxated capsular bag and the whole situation get worsens. To salvage the situation, I decided to use a micro scissors and make a cut into the anterior capsule, and so that I can cut these fibrosed areas as a rhexis. I use my right hand and finish off 3/4 of the rhexis. Using a side port, I went in and tried to finish off, but the chamber was getting shallow. So I came out again, filled up the viscoelastic. To have patience in such cases is very important. If you don't think twice before doing any step, you may lose the situation. So I use my micro forceps to hold the tag of a fibrosed anterior capsule, and using left hand the micro scissors is used to cut the bag as a circular fashion. Again a tag is remaining behind and the same steps are repeated on the other side, and thereby freeing the fibrosed anterior capsule and a CCC is made. As this anterior capsule is fibrosed, the chances for runaway rhexis is not here. So I was not worried whether my rhexis is perfectly circular or not, but I have got enough opening more than 5 mm in the center so that I can manage my nucleus well. And once rhexis is completed, a hydro is performed, rotation of nucleus is confirmed. So the nucleus is free from its all attachment. This is very important to check this. And now we have proceeded with a phacoemulsification. Luckily this was not a very hard cataract and I could emulsify it comfortably. Once each piece is separated, it is taken out and not waited to divide the nucleus into multiple pieces, so that in case I have a PCR, I will have a minimum or a single piece to manage. Again, the nucleus is rotated and taken out. You can note the chamber is not very stable as this was a very high myope case. Each piece is taken out and now we have a posterior capsule which is having a lot of cortical material there. Do not take out your phaco probe without filling with left hand the anterior chamber. Here I have to use a CTR, This is a single-handed CTR injector system made with a 1 ml syringe and IV cannula. This is the loading of CTR into the IV cannula so that I can inject it comfortably into the bag without causing any stress on the bag. And additional advantage is I can go very close to CCC and inject this CTR. Note how beautifully it goes inside. The trailing haptic goes very much near to the equator and it can be injected easily. Now we have to clean this posterior capsule. The polishing of posterior capsule was very crucial in this case as there was too much of material on the posterior capsule. So I had settings low on my vacuum and the flow rate was also low, and posterior capsule is polished with IA probe. This is a very meticulous and extra care must be taken while performing this. If you are not confident of performing this particular step, better leave it alone to perform a yak capsulotomy later date. You can note wherever I am holding the posterior capsule, there is something called as spider leg sign or the folds in the posterior capsule. At that point, do not pull your hand. You may rupture the PC, but holding the PC will not cause any rupture. Anyways, over. Now we will implant a 3-piece IOL in the bag. In all such scenarios where the bag or zonules is compromised, I like to prefer a 3-piece IOL. Leading haptic and optic is injected into the anterior chamber and trailing haptic is in the wound. Now, after formation of AC, the trailing haptic is dialed into the bag and the IOL is in position. Hope you like this case. Do subscribe to a YouTube channel Dr. Pankaj Lande for more such exciting videos.